What's up, gals and guys? Today I'm going to show you how to put together this rig you see right here for DSLR cameras. So you want to head down to your department store and look for what are called mending plates with pre-drilled holes. Try and find these ones here that are pre-bent 90 degrees at 6 inches on each side. Along with that, you'll need 2 8-inch plates and 2 6-inch plates. Now you also want to grab 4 bolts that are 5/16 by 1/2 inch. And you also want to grab 4 bolts that are 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch. And don't forget to grab these nuts to match them.
Got him!
Now go ahead and assemble the 2 90-degree mending plates with the 5/16 bolts. Now for this next part, you just want to dry fit everything and not tighten it too much. Now this is pretty much what you end up with. Now I used a permanent marker and marked the bottoms of each plate so I know how to put it back together. And now what I'm doing here is using the permanent marker to mark out the excess of what I need to cut. Now you don't need to cut anything here, you can just use it as it is. I just like to make my stuff fancy a little bit.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
Now I'm going to disassemble everything and make sure you don't lose any nuts or bolts. Now I've been using power tools for about 15 years, so I'm pretty comfortable when it comes to things like this. But if you have little or no experience, I advise not to do what I'm doing here. Now if you are going to do your own cutting, always wear eye protection. Another thing to keep in mind is where your sparks are flying. Now what I'm doing here is I'm thinning the mending plate so that I could just bend it and break it off. This way I don't have to change the blades to a cutting blade to a grinding blade. Now at this point I got pretty much everything cut, so all I'm really doing is just making everything a little bit smoother, trying to get rid of the sharp edges and such. I have here some multi-purpose sandpaper that works with both metal and wood. Now I don't work with metal too often, so if you want to get some metal sandpaper, it would work a little bit quicker than this. All I'm doing here is getting rid of all the sharp edges that I might have forgot or missed. So I'm going to go off track here for a bit on why I didn't make a traditional rig. Now normally it's like this, and to flip out the screen you have to loosen it a bit, flip it out, and then move it back and tighten it up again. And also you would have to work around the back bar to work around the buttons. Okay, back on track. Next step here is just put everything back together. Keep in mind where your bottom marks are. Now one more thing you can do when you're putting it back together is put some thread lock on all the bolts. Now the next thing you got to do is just get a rag, a little bit of soap on it, just wipe down the whole rig from all like the dust, shavings, and whatever else. Now the next thing I'm going to do is just purely for aesthetics, is paint the whole thing black. Now if you're going to go pick up some spray paint for this specific project, pick up Rust-Oleum. It doesn't have to be black, you can pick up any color. It's basically made for metal. So now that the paint's dry, I'm going to work on the handle here a bit. Now I got some 1/2 inch thick weather stripping foam tape.
1/2 inch thick weather stripping foam tape.
To wrap around this metal piece here. Now the first thing I'm doing is putting one strip across the top and another strip on the bottom to thicken it up a bit. Now I'm going to start wrapping it. You want to start with a taper like this here. It just makes it a little bit easier to start, and it also makes a little bit of a cleaner line. Now I'm going to use some hockey tape here and just close up the end here a bit. And then I'm going to start wrapping it all the way until I get to the front. Now that I'm at the front here, I'm going to close up the front and I'm going to wrap it one more time going back. All I'm doing here is wrapping some tape around the bottom where the camera is going to sit, just to sort of prevent it from scratching, and also helps it tighten it a little bit better. And that's pretty much it. That's 2 hours of work and this thing's ready to go. Now the bracket on the side here was supposed to be for the mic, but the one I picked up was a little long and you can see it on the lens here. So what I did is I went and picked up an extra mending plate and just bolted it to the side here. To mount the mic on the mending plate, I used this little knob here that I took from a flash rig. Now if you don't have one of these, you could use a 1/4" bolt. The mic kind of does block the screen a little bit, but you still can't see it from your point of view. Now if you want to mount an LED light for night filming, you could mount it here with a 1/4" bolt or even a cold shoe. Now to mount the camera to the rig, you could use a 1/4" bolt. I found this little knob that was attached to a tripod, which I found in a thrift store. And that's it, there you have it. Hopefully you have some success putting your rig together. One last thing I want to mention is when you're putting this together, be creative. Take a look around your department store, some other things you can use. If you base your design off my rig, I'd like to see what you came up with. Comment below if you ended up building one of these.